the body of knowledge is so vast that it is virtually impossible to digest and process all of what we're learning in a short period of time. And so we give this time and space to breathe because we are yoga people, and that the breathing in and breathing back out of the content is a really significant part of how human beings learn, because we're not machines. We have lives, we have jobs and families and obligations and responsibilities, and we make room for that.
So if you're looking at your program and you're worried about that fitting everything in right on top of something, that take a breath. It'll all come as you need it to come. And as you go through the training, what you hear is what you need to hear, and you'll learn and get what you need to get in the program, because you can always come back and learn more about stuff later. As many of you said, it's the tip of the iceberg.
The program exposes you to so many different amazing teachers, both on the faculty at Sun and Moon, but people from all over the country.
We do not speak with one voice. We speak with an eclectic chorus of so many different voices and experiences and lived traditions. And we do not believe that yoga is one thing. We know it's rich and often complicated and tangled up history. And what we do in presenting the richness of this tradition is we tease out what we believe is the best of it, but we never say that we're right. We give voice to the people who we believe are upholding the best values and the best practices.
Classes, so I really enjoyed seeing the different styles of teaching and knowing that it's not right or wrong in the way that you teach. It's learning your own style and learning what's important to you. And just since then, having taught my own classes, I've really become more comfortable with my style of teaching and not worrying so much about, am I doing this wrong or right? And more about reading the audience and reading the students and doing what's right for them.
Well, this is the way I am meant to teach. And that's okay. That every teacher is different and you don't have to follow some cookie cutter mold. You just have to take a deep breath and sort of find what is natural to you.
For even if you're not interested in actually teaching yoga, because yoga is so much more than sitting on a mat in a room guiding people in postures. This is deep learning, it's self-reflection, it's experience that opens eyes to seeing the world in a different way.
I was one of those people who joined the program to deepen my practice. I'd been going to Sun and Moon for several years and always wondering, why is the instructor saying what they're saying at this moment in time? And why are they asking you to align your limbs in a certain way and breathe in a certain way? And I signed up for the program to understand that better. And it absolutely worked that way.
And it wasn't that I developed an interest to want to teach, it was an interest to want to share. It's not just about the asanas at all. That's one small piece of it. It's the philosophy. It's the Sutra 1.1. Now we practice. From now on, we practice, right? We don't really know everything and we never will.
I remember somebody saying that the path of yoga is you start it, we sort of catch the bug of yoga. And at some point, you start sharing it with people and you just can't help yourself. And people start asking you about yoga and about your practice. And before you know it, maybe you're showing somebody in your family or a close friend, and that's the path. And sort of the next level is, yes, this is what happens. And you start to share and, call yourself a teacher if you'd like, or whatever you want to call it. But yes, it's part of the lineage. So if you have found yourself here, there is a reason.
I walked up there and I was like, had the imposter syndrome. It's like, who am I to get up here and teach a pose? And I had such a complex about what am I trying to do here. And then I saw, my cohorts getting up there and having the same, they're all nervous and things are coming out funky out of their mouths, and you're all in the same boat, and you build this bond and become like your lifetime friends. Some of the most, prized relationships that I have today.
So there's sort of a loop-de-loop happening. That's how we do it at Sun and Moon. So for example, a 200-hour, and then a little bit of a looping back as the 300-hour students join in. They observe and sometimes participate and teach in the 200-hour, and then a little looping back and then forward some more, and then they're becoming teachers, and then they're looping back and teaching some of the 300-hour, and then looping back. And we get these beautiful overlays of relationships. One of the ways that we could define yoga is that it is relationship.
I mean, several of the people who were in the group that I took the class with, their sort of day job, so to speak, were in the medical field or had some reason to have studied anatomy in the past, but it was all brand new to me. So as it turns out, what I really didn't like at the start, I love now. I get out my books and I study, well, what muscles are we using in this pose? And then all of the endocrinology aspect, which is even more complicated, is just also fascinating. And so it has just like opened up a whole new world of things to learn about, and then to find people to share it with.
We've added some of the social responsibility pieces over the years because we believe that yoga is social justice work. And this has bearing in the texts and a long history connected to it, so that the endeavor of freedom is not freedom in and of one's own individual life. If yoga is to break the bonds of suffering and to become free as an embodied being could be, that necessitates us to look at and consider ways in which our fellow humans are not free, and to use the practices and the teachings that we are incorporating into our own lives and turn them back out into the world in ways that serve others.